another one.
Hey, the button worked. Hey, guys.
Oh, my goodness.
Welcome to the
That's
Gig
nice when
Economy
things work.
Podcast, episode 179, with our new co-host, Mr. Larry Duncan.
That was pretty good, Jason. Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me to be a co-host on the show. I've got big shoes to fill. Jesper did a great job. I know he had a lot of fans, and I hope that they'll take a liking to me as well. And just everybody who's been on the show in the past. I know Jesper, and then Pete was on, Sam was on for a while. Of course, Ben was there for quite a while, and Nick even. I remember.
Yep.
That's throwing going way back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, excited to be here.
For sure. So, yeah, we're just going to jump into, like, what we do always. We're going to miss Jesper. Maybe he'll tune in tonight. Probably not. Probably some feelings. I have some feelings as well, as I completely dismantled the studio over the last week. Took the table out, took everything out. There's couches already in here. I moved my studio to about an eighth of what it was in this little cubby over here, but the way Larry and I are going to be streaming, since he's out of town and out of state, this works well. So I had some emotions running high. It had been a lot of hours of content recorded at that table between Eaton Gig and another podcast I did that had over 200 episodes. So, but I think this is good. It's a refresh of my basement. My wife is extremely happy that we can come downstairs and actually watch a show and shut the door and not have children or dogs or anything on here. So pretty stoked about that. But to find out about our show, go to gigeconomyshow.com. That's where you can find all the information about us, old shows and new shows, basically everything you need. We are now putting news on that. So if you need some news, or you're looking for some news, or you hear anything, or you want to share with us, or you're just looking, go to gigeconomyshow.com for that. I want to mention our Patreon members, which Larry is the long-standing. I think he needs to quit now. Can everyone encourage him to stop subscribing?
I did, actually, last night.
Did you? Okay.
I did.
All right. No need to pay for it if you're providing the content.
You got my money for February, but that's it.
All
I'm
right.
done.
All right. So last hurrah. Larry from Bowling Green, Samson from Grand Rapids, Steve from Colorado, Bud Dickman from North Carolina, Omar from Detroit, Delivery Cats from Michigan, Jamie from Tennessee, Frank from Philly, Nate from Florida, John from California, Tom from Chicago, and I did not update this, but I think it's Jim from Connecticut.
Yes, I believe you're correct. Jim from Connecticut.
Okay, I don't know how to spell Connecticut, so I'm just going to do that, and because I went to private school and we don't do geography here.
There we go. Or math.
Or math. If you want to join the Patreon, which we offer two different tiers, go to patreon.com/gigeconpodcast, or just search the Gig Economy Podcast on Patreon. You get an extra podcast a month. We did not do it last month, but, obviously, as you know, we were going through some things with Jesper, so Larry and I will be starting that this month. After the third month, you get a t-shirt. John McCallion, I owe you one. The $5 tier gets you the pre-show banter, and the $10 tier gets you an ad-free episode. So you don't have to listen to us talk about ads or anything else that gets placed on there. So check that out. And then last but not least, the Telegram group. That's where we all talk. I would say out of everyone in the group, Larry is the most active. I would say out of that group, I think, other than Gabe, I think Larry's the most active as a gig worker as well. Maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back and forth. It sways. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes John will get on a kick and
That's true.
be on there quite a bit. Or Frank's been on quite a bit here lately. So yeah, we definitely need more people to get on the Telegram group. It's fun chatting when you're out working. Just have somebody to talk with and tell stories about your passengers and the crazy thing that just happened and all that stuff. And also the Patreon, we need somebody to backfill my position.
That's right.
So definitely we need at least one new member. So sign up for the Patreon.
The Telegram group is like WhatsApp or iMessage or a Facebook group. Just go ahead, download Telegram. The link is in the description for that. So, all right, we're going to bring back stories from the road. We took it off for a little bit, but, I'm going to be driving this weekend. Larry's driving all the time. So, Larry, do you have any stories from the road? I do not, but I will this weekend because I'm working.
That's okay. I got two, so I got you covered. The first one happened a couple of weeks ago. Picked up a lady about 2 p.m. Picked her up. She was already very intoxicated. She was just heading over to Dollar General Market, and we're heading when we had to pass the liquor store on the way. And she's like, I really want to go to the liquor store, but I don't need to go to the liquor store. But I want to go to the liquor store. But anyway, we didn't. We went on to Dollar General Market. And we get there, and she's like, I'm really smashed. She's like, you have to go in with me. She's like, all I need to get is some panty liners. I need you to go in. She's like, I'll give you $20 if you go in. I'm like, okay. I mean, this is literally like we're like maybe 4 blocks from her house, probably from her apartment. And so I was like, okay. So we walk in the store. I should have seen the big red flag when we walk in. She grabs a cart. Right?
Oh yeah, red flag.
She grabs a shopping cart. Ends up. The first thing we see is a Valentine's Day display. She starts throwing in candy and stuff. And then we pass the dollar aisle. She's like, we got to go down the dollar aisle. She's getting makeup. She bought $140 worth of stuff.
Oh my God.
Dollar General. Yeah. So we get out to the car and then she's like, okay, I need to stop at the liquor store. I'm like, I don't think you need to stop at the liquor store. I think you want to stop at the liquor store.
Yeah.
So we stop at the liquor store. Once again, have to go in with her because she's unsteady on her feet. She's like, I really want some Crown Royal, but I can't afford it. And we walk around the store. She didn't find anything. So she gets a 6-pack, and then right by the counter is the Crown Royal. She's like, you know what? I'm going to do it tonight. So she gets the thing of Crown Royal. We get the car, get back to her apartment, taking out the groceries, all these bags from Dollar General. And she starts taking stuff out of the bags and putting them in my trunk. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I got all, these are for you. This is what I got for you. I'm like, look, all I wanted, you asked me what I wanted. All I wanted was a Mountain Dew. So if you want to pull it up, Jason, here's the haul from what I got from this lady. So she got me some K-Pod Dunkin' Donut, coffee pods. She got me some chocolate covered cherries. She got me some Dial 3-in-1 soap and conditioner shampoo, and my Mountain Dew that I asked for, a Frappuccino drink, a peach tea drink. She got me a bath bomb, and she got me some Ghirardelli caramel chocolates, and then on the other picture, a big giant tube of the Snowball white cheddar cheese puffs. Just a hint: if you ever go to Dollar General, do not get the white cheddar cheese puff. These Snowballs, they are the most disgusting thing. Me and my wife, we each tried one. And they taste like some kind of chemical thing.
Oh, no.
Don't even taste like food. They were horrible.
Wow.
Horrible.
Well, look at all this
the rest
stuff.
Of the stuff seemed,
Like, this is all drunk buy. This is Jason on Amazon buying stuff because he's shit-faced. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I'm like, I don't need any of this. She's like, well, I'm not taking it. I'm going to leave it in your trunk.
I'll take it if you're not gonna.
Exactly, if you're not gonna. And so I helped her carry her stuff into her apartment door. She opened the door. We set her stuff right in, and then she started hugging on me, and I was like, okay, it's time to go. It is time to go.
It's interesting. You said she didn't have enough money for the Crown Royal. If she would have bought just what she needed at Dollar General, she would have had plenty of money for the Crown Royal. She could have bought,
a couple of things of Crown Royal. There you go. That's how you spell Connecticut.
That's right. Connect. Yeah, I would have got that wrong.
Yeah, I would have messed it up too.
100% got that wrong.
So anyway, that happened 2 weeks ago. So last night, my second story from the road.
I have an important question.
Okay.
How was the bath bomb?
I haven't used it yet, but I get home and my wife was like, she was looking through it. She's like, oh, we can give this to Amy. I'm like, the hell you are? That's my bath bomb.
I slaved for this bath bomb. I
worked hard.
Yeah.
I put up with drunken craziness for this bath bomb.
100%.
That's going. Yes, that's going in our jacuzzi tub the next time I soak.
100%. And what else you got?
So yeah. Okay. Next, this just happened last night. I was out and I was listening to a podcast, driving around. My first passenger, I didn't even go out till 8:30 last night. I just didn't go out for a couple hours. I'd done one ride. So I'm on the way to my second ride, and I got to get a message from Uber. Pops up on the screen. It says, let me pull up the email. I've still got the email. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It
you might as
says-
well read the verbiage.
Yeah. It says, message from Uber, and this came on the app. It says, we hope everything is okay, Larry. One of your riders indicated that they were involved in a minor accident / discomfort while inside your vehicle. We wanted to check to make sure you're okay. As explained in our community guidelines, serious or repeated claims of poor, unsafe, or distracted driving can result in a permanent deactivation of a driver's account. Please note that this message was not meant in an accusatory way. We simply wanted to make you aware of the nature of the feedback we received. We are not in the vehicle and therefore do not rely on the perspective, and therefore we do rely on the perspective of both parties. We do understand there are two sides to every story, which is why we always reach out. We appreciate your understanding. If you have any concerns, feel free to reach us. So yeah, I reached them real quick. As soon as I got done with that second ride that I was doing, and I went to respond, and they had already sent me the same message again. It was like 30 minutes later, and they sent it again. So I typed them back. It's like, hey, I've got dash cam footage. Nothing happened. I don't know what happened. That my student, it was a student that I picked up at Western, took her from the college to her apartment, which is like 10 minutes away. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. So
Is that it?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to add what today.
Well, yeah, I can add that in right now too. So today I'm driving, and I was going to pick. I get a ping, and I'm on my way to pick it up, and all of a sudden it gets canceled. There's somebody named Grace was the passenger, and right as it goes away, I get a call, and it says, "This is Uber support." And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, "Yeah, sure it is." And they say, we know you just had a call or a ride that was canceled, correct? And I was like, yes. And they said, are you aware that there's a complaint against your account? I was like, well, there was something last night, but that's all been cleared up. And they're like, well, we need to confirm some details of your account. And I'm like, details? Okay, confirm this. Hang up.
Okay. And you said to me in a message that you feel like that was related.
It was a big coincidence if it wasn't. I don't know. It very well could be, but that, like I said, the messages that I got, last night about there being a problem came from within the Uber app.
Yeah.
So if it was a scammer or a hacker, somehow they were able to get into the app.
So I disagree. I think it was a coincidence. I actually think that you didn't give them an opportunity to ask the question of what details they wanted. So I would have waited to see what they wanted before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've done that before. I mean, that's probably the 5th time I've gotten that phone call over the years.
Okay. So do you feel like it was a scam though? The phone call for sure? Like, you just felt a little shaky about it?
Oh yeah, I don't think they're gonna ever. I don't think they're gonna ever call like that and say, "Hey, we canceled that ride and we need to confirm your details." But yeah, next time I'll probably let it go a little further.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just hung up and turned the app back on and got another ride within minutes.
Yeah.
And haven't they did call back one time and I just didn't answer the phone. But that was immediately after I.
So that's weird. The second callback makes me think it was a scam.
Yeah, they called immediately back, and I just didn't answer it. I just went ahead and drove.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't park your car for 48 hours. If it said something like a minor accident, normally they said when you get in an accident like that, they're they park you.
But it said minor accident / discomfort. So they didn't tell you which one it is.
Yeah. Well, if it was an accident, they would park you for a bit.
Yeah, they always do. You have to go take pictures and all that to get back on there. But I mean, I've had this passenger at least once before. And
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like, it's like a 10-minute trip or less. It's not like it would be a trip that'd be worth trying to, say something to get for free or anything like that. And so I really don't know. All
right. Well, we'll find, hopefully nothing happens again. So I just want to say, hi to Traveler, Rideshare Road Warrior Rick, the Driven Dad. Thank you guys for coming over from Steve's show. I really appreciate it. So we're going to jump into gig economy in the news. And so this first thing, obviously, this is what everyone's talking about. Lifted their, I called it the State of the Union. It feels like that's what it was. You know how your state does it,
Yes.
and then the president does it. So the new driver benefits in early 2024 release. I'm just going to quick go over them and then kind of read what they said. Earn 70% or more of rider fares after external fees each week guaranteed. What's external fees? See where the riders' fares go. Earn more for waiting during scheduled rides. Find more ways to choose rides at the airport. Access new earning and navigation opportunities for EVs. Okay. And then appeal deactivations easily in the Lyft app. So obviously some of those are pretty self-explanatory in regards to what they are. But so just kind of going down the path here, it says, we're proud to introduce a new pay standard, the first of its kind in the rideshare industry. Last year, on average, Lyft drivers earned roughly 88% of rider payments after external fees like local taxes and government-mandated extra insurance provided while driving on the platform. But an average isn't the full story for every driver. In any given week last year, approximately 15 out of 100 drivers earned less than 70% of what riders paid. Almost 2/3 of the drivers had it happen to them at least once. So their commitment is to make sure you earn 70. But what does that mean for the people that roughly earn 88%? Are they going to drop them to 70?
Well, that's the big question. I mean, that's the big question, and it's hard to believe that it's averaging 88%.
I know.
So again, it's 70% after taxes and fees. So here's what the CEO said when he was talking on the Rideshare Guy podcast. He says, as of right now, so for $100, if a fare is $100, if the passenger is paying $100 for a ride, how much do you think of that goes toward insurance and fees out of $100?
That Lyft is paying?
Well, that they have to pay
$5.
$24.
What?
It's 24. Yeah, $24. So here's what they say. They say out of a $100 ride, the rider's getting 67. They're paying 24 in fees, and Lyft gets $9. That's what they get to keep.
Okay.
So again, that is a little hard to believe. And they said this would be something that they do on a weekly basis. So at the end of the week, if you've averaged over 70, then you'll get an email that says, congratulations, you've averaged over that. And if you're under that, for the 15% of the drivers that may be under that, then you'll get an email that tells you how much. And they said they'll true it up. It's automatic. They'll pay you that difference.
So are they going to actually show the percentage? So like the ones that are already averaging 88%, is it going to say like you got 84%? Every week? Or
we should know, because they said as of today, I checked it earlier, as of today, we're going to get to see the whole fare like we used to be able. We're going to get to see what the passenger pays, how much goes toward that insurance and fees, and how much we get and how much goes to Lyft. They said they're really trying to be very clear about things and shows where everything's going, because that's one of the big claims. We have no idea where things go. Like I guarantee you, it's just like you when I ask you how much insurance and fees they have to pay on a $100 ride. I don't think any driver would have guessed it was anywhere near that much.
I know, because I'm figuring like $100 ride. They're in the car for just such a 15 minutes, let's say. I don't know. God dang, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if it's true.
Yeah, and again, they say they're trying to be very, just very open about the process and where all the money's going.
Yeah, they're going to talk about, like Larry said, where riders' fares go. Earning made easier, earn more on scheduled trips. Turn on manual accept for queued rides, which that's been a feature at least in the last month or two. Yep. See more ways to find rides at airport and access new earnings for EVs. Wow. We're launching new EV earnings in Massachusetts, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Toronto, and Vancouver. Oh, wow. Starting February 12th through July 1st, drivers who give 50 rides in their personal EV in a week will earn an extra $100, which, I mean, do they have to do 50 to get it? Because, like, I get $1 per ride per on Uber, regardless. It doesn't matter how many rides I do. So, and then easier driver deactivation appeals. Well,
right.
So it looks like a one button push to appeal.
Right.
It.
It's going to be within the app. Supposedly, he talked about it. He said, they said that's one thing they've worked on a lot, and they say that's the biggest concern with passengers. The rideshare guy was saying, he usually hears pay as their number one, but the CEO, he's like, well, when you get deactivated, your pay goes to zero.
Yeah.
So that tends to be a bigger problem. So within the app, supposedly there's going to be one, a button. If you've been deactivated, you hit that button. It's going to give you a chance to explain your side. Supposedly they're going to have a place to upload dash cam videos and documentation, because that's one thing that they brought up. He was, he asked him, he was like, well, we have all these drivers have dash cams, but there's nowhere for us to do anything with that.
Yeah.
Half the time they'll say, no, we're not going to take any of that. And speaking of dash cams, I didn't know it now, but within Lyft, you can also register your dash cam, so it'll pop up in the app and tell the passengers that you have a dash cam.
Yeah, I think you can do that with Uber. Have you activated that
Uber,
at all?
Yeah, I did it when it came out.
Okay.
And but yeah, it's recent to Lyft. That you used to be able to do that. And then some other things, he was talking about their mapping. He said they're working really hard on their mapping. They suggest everybody try it out. They're trying to make it more like Waze, where you can get feedback if there's traffic jams, things like that. He talked a lot about how dedicated they are to making things fair and trying to make things better for the drivers.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're going to be doing these kind of bigger releases, once or twice a year at least, because this is called the early 2004 release. So he said there's a reason it's called, the early one.
Yeah. In regards to the deactivation appeals, I think it's just a fancy button. My guess is it's going to be the same process. I think it's going to just be, it's better for the Lyft to say, oh, we can easily, you know what I mean? Because I just think it's just going to be the same thing. It's just you have a big button and then it just pops up, you fill it out and send it. I mean, it might be a little bit easier. But.
Right. But he did say that's something they've worked really hard on. He said they've gotten it now where 72% of people on Lyft who get deactivated are reactivated within 24 hours.
Yeah.
He said, so and they're working, he said they're working on that all the time.
But most of that stuff
is short.
Hey, someone said you were drinking, and then they just park you for a day, and then you're back without even putting in an appeal, in my opinion. But, well, we'll see. I don't have any stories, but I am driving this weekend because I looked at my Lyft bonus, and for this weekend, don't be jealous. I got to bring it back up because I'm
jealous, man. I am jealous.
So for this weekend, if I do 68 rides, $604. It's my bonus.
Jeez.
I mean, I don't think I can do 68 rides on Lyft. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I'll be able to get that many. So I did choose the 604 one, but if I do 46 rides, I get 272. So
we have faith in you, Jason. You can do it.
Well,
man.
I can do it. I just don't know if I'm going to get enough rides offered to me unless I want to drive 20 minutes to pick people up.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. I have not seen a quest like that from either of the apps that big.
No, I can't get anything. I don't get anything like that. But I could, what I need to do, I guess, is go refer some new drivers, because Uber's offering $100 if we refer a driver. Lyft is offering $1,500.
Jeez.
$1,500.
How many rides? See, that's the thing, though. Do they have to do a certain amount of rides?
Well, I don't think it tells me. I don't think it says. I'm sure they do. They have to do a certain amount of rides. It may be. I think it's like. It may have been. I think the last time I looked, it was like 160 rides in the first month or something.
Yeah,
I don't
who
know.
are you
I'd
gonna
have
get
look.
to do that? Like,
Exactly,
it's like
exactly.
a
Some newbie who doesn't know what they're doing, and
Fuck
they're not
no.
going to go out and hammer it down like that, you know.
no way.
And
So that's
I don't want the
catch.
competition anyway. It's not worth it to me.
Right.
So I don't
Right.
ever refer anybody. But
Jimothy says, charge up that bull. Oh yeah, she's gonna get a full charge tonight. We're gonna bang it out. It's supposed to be a little warmer this weekend, so that'll give me some longer distances on that. So
another thing, real quick, on the deactivation with Lyft. One thing he did explain. He said that they're going to also do a much better job if you got deactivated. They're really going to try to tell you, exactly why that you were deactivated, not just the generic, okay, you broke one of our terms of service and so you're deactivated, because that's what seems to happen now. You have no idea what you did or what ride it was connected to or anything like that. Because he was talking and he's like, I drive as well with Lyft, even CEO, they go out and do a few rides. But anyway, he said that he lives in California. Well, he ventured into Washington State, and this is what he claims, that he got a note that he was deactivated, and it told him because he was in Washington State and he doesn't have the stuff he needs, the insurance and requirements
so they deactivate
he needs to
him,
drive in there. Yeah. So I find that very hard to believe.
yeah,
but I'm going to try it. I'm going to test it out because, I always turn on my apps like whenever I go to different states, and I know which states generally around me I can drive in.
Well, I think if they really want to be more transparent about like complaints, they need to let me see what the person wrote. Yeah. Like literally let me see the message that they wrote.
Exactly.
Like
that's how you can address it.
Exactly. Then I can pinpoint and say, I can tell you where I was. I can tell you what happened, or if anything. But I think they're probably realizing that most of the complaints are complete and utter bullshit.
Right. I mean, I'm sure there are some legit ones for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I know we have one later on that we're talking about that. If I was a driver, I would be complaining. Right. But anyway.
All right, we're going to jump into that was a good talk about Lyft. I'll give you some feedback next week's show. I'm going to see what happened. If I find anything, I'll try to go through my rides one by one and, kind of take especially if they're going to add the percentage. But this video, I cut the fuck up out of this video because the full one got taken down on Reddit. They took it down, so I had to yeet it from YouTube and then cut out the person that was talking about, because it was like a 10-minute video. He was talking in between it, you know what I mean? But this is about a couple of streamers that treat this driver really bad, and we'll see if we can get through the first 2.5 minutes, and that's all it is. But well, that ain't the right fucking thing. There we go.
Like, do you not like is your GPS always doing something to you? Like, how is this my issue?
It's like one of those monsters
Just make a right, sir.
telling me to go this way.
Okay. It's
Yeah, the
probably a
GPS.
system
Listen,
error.
it's an AI system. No, it's an AI system. It's going to tell you how to get there. I think the best thing to do is just to follow your GPS.
Go straight. Just go straight. We're
Just let
supposed to
him
go
follow the
straight and
GPS.
make a left on the
Fuck that.
expressway.
Just make him follow the GPS.
I did, Cena. He
fine.
parked in the corner and we missed the exit to get on the expressway.
She gets out a taser here.
I mean, like, you shouldn't be talking to me like this.
You just told us we're gonna walk. You're supposed to go straight and make a left.
No, the address was your house address.
Right.
That's the right
That's where we're going.
That's not where you were, though.
Right. You picked us up from the
The
storage.
corner.
Right.
That's not where we're going. No. Okay, now I'm sorry.
I'm not
No.
going to argue
No.
with you.
It's
Where
okay.
you just picked us up was not
I'm
her
not going to
house.
argue with you.
I'm recording this. We're gonna show this to Uber.
Come touch me though, cause I got a taser. So you want to get violent, nigga? Cause we can get violent right now. Get my shit out your trunk. Get my shit out your trunk and don't drop shit either. Cause I'll get real violent. Get my shit out your trunk and put it on the sidewalk. Since you want to get
She
violent,
seems fun.
let me know, cause she's recording all of this. Let's go.
This is why old people shouldn't drive.
He's saying he picked us up from your house, bitch.
He grabs his phone here, pulls it out of his car.
Here's what we do.
Ride so I
Let me
can
tell
get my
you
money.
what we do.
Here's what we're doing. You're gonna cancel the ride right now and give me my money.
He throws his phone on the ground.
like I ain't got the clips.
I broke that phone. Let's go.
No, that I'm reporting this. This dude just back up because
No, I want him to hit us.
You're not touching my phone. That's a
I
federal
want my
crime.
phone.
Where is it, old man? Do you have Alzheimer's? Are you okay in the head?
Oh,
Are you okay in the head? Did you drop it?
literally losing his mind now. He lost. Whose phone is this? Is this your phone?
Do you have dementia?
Record that. Is that his phone? Is this man's phone?
This one.
Okay, so it was a little cut up. There was some other stuff, but yeah, Tony, they stole his phone. She went in there and grabbed it. So I should have grabbed I'm going to put the link in the description of the video I pulled and chopped it up. I'm not going to put it on our page as ours. I didn't want to, Jimothy, I'll stick to food delivery. I didn't want to play his whole video because it was 10 minutes, but he actually bleeped out all of them except one N-word. He missed one N-word, but I watched the original when it first came out, and it was N-word everything. But that creator had bleeped that out. And the chat, I guess the chat was brutal too. So, I feel so bad for that guy.
Oh, I know it. I mean, the way they were talking to him and treating him, and she filmed herself stealing his phone.
I know.
Breaking it.
That's how stupid these kids are now.
Exactly. Yeah. What are you doing?
I feel bad because I think old people. I think rideshare is great for elderly people. I think it's very, it's good income for them if they have a disability and stuff like that. I don't think there was anything wrong with the driver. I think he was just driving. It was a little, he may have been a little confused, but I feel like they were like tricking him or something to make him confused. I don't know. I don't think he did anything wrong. He did the right thing. We're like, you girls need to get out. So, just that is America, y'all. That is who's going to be in this country soon, running this country. So,
hey, elderly drivers, I resemble that remark, man.
no, you're not elderly.
No, but yeah, it was very confusing at the beginning. It sounded like one of them was telling him to go one way, and the other one was arguing with him and telling him maybe to go a different way. And
it was probably a lot longer, but like I said, it was all kind of chopped up. So, all right, moving on. This is your story? Sorry, Larry.
Yes, that's okay. So this is a screenshot that shows somebody with paid sick time. So in some of the states where they've passed some of these, different laws, like in California and Seattle, I looked it up. In Seattle, if you're an Uber driver, you can get sick time. It's called paid sick and safe time. So it says, safe time. So it says in order to be eligible, you must have taken at least one trip in the city of Seattle in the last 90 days. So it says you can accrue 1 day of sick time for every 30 days you drive with Uber. They don't have to be consecutive days.
Right.
And it says completing at least one trip or delivery in the city counts as 1 day. So if you do one ride that day, that'll get you your time that goes toward your sick time.
But this is, I think the picture is wrong, right? Like that's why.
Oh yeah. This has either been photoshopped or something because it says, what is that? Like 11 million or 1,147,000.
No, it's 114,763 hours.
There we go. Yeah, we don't do math.
You proved it your first day. So yeah, and most of those, I think Massachusetts, and then Seattle, then New York, they all get sick time and stuff like that. So
exactly, but they
clearly
have so many weird rules, and
I know I don't know how they keep it straight.
I don't either. We don't want it. Don't want it. Just
okay,
leave us alone.
So I'm not a proponent of Steve's comment. I'm not a proponent of strikes, but look at this fucking logo.
Is that not awesome?
I fucking love this thing. I don't know who made it. It's just great. So it's Global Day of Strike. Cool. It's Valentine's Day, February 14th. No rideshare, no deliveries. Turn your apps off in solidarity. I will be turning my apps off in solidarity. I will not be working.
I will not be working either, mainly because we'll be doing this.
Oh, it's next Wednesday, isn't it?
But I never work on Valentine's Day because not only is it Valentine's Day, it is my anniversary.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, it looks like Steve said rideshare professor did that. Well, if he created that, I just think it's a badass.
Yeah,
it's a nice
really
drawing, and then it's got the chains through the car and the fist. He did a great job. I absolutely love that. So, again, I'm not anti strike by any means. I mean, I'm in my own bus union and stuff like that. I'm for solidarity and all that things. I just don't think it can work in the way this works. Like and with all the drivers and so many different things. And we've talked about before how they've kind of preyed on these drivers that they have to work like they're making such little amount that if they don't work one day, they're not going to be able to pay their rent. And so, yeah. But Jimothy said that's his next tat. Oh, fuck yeah. Maybe take the words out of it. I don't know. Whoever drew that, I don't know if the rideshare professor drew it. Somebody drew that. But that's
probably AI created.
You think so? God dang it. I hope not, because that looks really good.
It is really good. Yeah, that's what caught my eye. I'm with you. I'm not against strikes by any means, but we're just, we don't the drivers, you don't know the other drivers,
right?
You don't have that sense of solidarity that you do if you're at a factory and you're working away together every day side by side and doing things like that. It's just hard to get people to do anything together.
Yeah, 2 license plates, probably AI. You don't know, Mark. Steve brings up a good point though. It's not a strike. It's not. It's a protest because you're not an employee. It's a protest, but. Anyways, good luck to everyone that's doing it. I'm sure a lot of people will do it, and I'm sure a lot of people will make a lot of money. Right?
Probably.
All right.
That's usually how it goes.
Let's move on to the next one.
Okay, this story is it's kind of hard to believe. So this is a story about a lady who she's 33 years old. She said she made $103,000 in gross earnings in 2022 driving for Lyft and Uber, but she brought home just $19,000.
And if you remember, I don't know if it was last show with Jesper or maybe the show before, we talked about another guy too that made all this money, but then his actual take home was like so little. So maybe it's kind of the same thing.
First of all, they have to be quoting the amount that they show on your taxes.
No,
the total amount, which shows what the riders paid too.
Which is
so
stupid.
Yeah, exactly, because you just have to back that out. So that's going to back out a bunch. But it also says after taking home $19,000 after Ubers and Lyft commissions, taxes, car maintenance expenses, and gas. So car maintenance, who knows? I mean, that could be, who knows what that could be?
Yeah,
because I think she was driving a Ford Expedition. She said that cost her $800 a month.
Probably just in the gas.
Well, yeah, maybe more in gas than that.
Yeah.
So you got to look at the whole picture. I mean, if you're making that much, if you're making over 100,000, and you only bring home 19, you're doing something wrong.
Well, no, it's not. She is doing something wrong. But if you're still continuing to do it, I mean, you all
right
while you're working out there, you should run just some basic numbers. You don't have to be like super technical, but if you're realizing
down the penny,
if you're realizing you're eating, you're eating up with all this gas and all this other stuff, like especially if you're a full-time driver, for me to drive that Pilot full time would be it would be nuts how much gas it used. So make sure you
will put on some miles and you use some gas. I was just starting to do my taxes the other day. I mean, last year I drove like 45,000 miles
just for gig work.
42 of that was for gig work.
And you only drove 3,000 personal miles? Holy shit. Larry, dear God.
Yeah. I mean, I will turn my apps on like if I go visit my daughter over in Murray, I'll turn my apps on, or when I come up to Michigan, I'll have my apps on, even though, I can't drive, I can do food delivery and other things like that. So, so some of that, is kind of fluff miles, but you will put on some miles if you do it full time.
So I drove My business miles was 13,800 for gig work, but my personal mileage was 21,000. Now,
Oh, really?
that includes bus driving, because I have this app and I don't categorize everything. I just do business or personal. So every time I drive the bus and everything, so total mileage was like 35,000, but obviously that wasn't all in my vehicle. But
Right.
but yeah, 21,000 personal and 13,000 for business. Holy shit, Larry, 42,000. Good thing good thing you wrecked that car.
That's a good thing. Got rid of that squeak, man.
So have you done your taxes yet?
I just started on it. Just
Oh, okay.
started
I would
putting
be
together the
curious
info.
what your deduction. Well, I mean, you can figure it out. I guess you just take the 42 times 63 point. I don't know if it's actually that
Oh, yeah.
simple, but
I could pull that up too.
I don't even know if it's that simple. If they give you the, like, literally that's your deduction, like 42,000 times 63 point whatever it is.
Yeah.
Are you doing it now just for shits and grins?
No, go ahead. Go ahead and talk. I thought I got my I use Stride
Okay.
for my miles, and I thought I got my I thought I got
Well,
my,
even
like,
even if
Stride
you do it at
report.
63, that's 20 or 63 cents a mile. That's $26,000 deduction.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Oh my God. Okay.
love it.
Moving on. Let's see. So Larry shared this photo. What was the gist on this?
I mean, stuff like this it's like, how pointless can it be? So you might get it right. You might as well say between 1 minute and sometime this year.
Okay.
You know, sometime. I mean, what 17 to 48 minutes.
It is
That
pretty
that doesn't help me. You know, that's totally pointless.
I'm trying to see what time it is. If it's like in the middle of the day, I think 1:56 maybe. I can't quite tell,
Yeah,
but
it's all jumbled up there. I can't tell. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, you know, if it says it's, you know, between 2 minutes and 10 minutes, you know, maybe that, you know, that's good, you know, but sometimes it'll say, you know, 2 to 5 minutes. That's very helpful.
Well,
that's very helpful.
I think they're
It's
just
17
doing
to 48.
Well, they're just doing the average. They're just
Yeah.
taking how long. I mean, if it's busy at night, it's never going to say 17 to 48 minutes. It's going to say 2 to 5 minutes. I just think they're saying, well,
yeah, I think they need to just narrow the range.
I just think they shouldn't put it up there. If it's that bad, just say, you're fucked. Go home.
Yeah.
You're not
Just
getting a
look.
ride tonight.
Just flash up on the screen. Good night. You know?
Good night, yeah.
You're done.
You're done. You're done.
Bye-bye.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
All right, moving on. We have a new sponsor. It is Kim with Kim's Side Money Plans. So Kim and I decided to do some swaps. So she's talking about our show on her show, which you can catch after my show is done at 9. See how this works? We have Steve's, and then we have mine, and then Kim. So Kim has just started her podcast. The link is in the description of my of the podcast, or whatever. It's in the description. And she's been a YouTuber for over 3 years. She has almost 7,000 subscribers, and she's passionate about the gig economy, especially DoorDash. She does it full time, and she has 16 different apps. So, like, I'm impressed with that, because I thought I was the only one that had, like, you know, I think they call it a Schedule C. Each app is like a Schedule C for my accountant. And usually I have 5 or 6, but she has 16. Like, if she literally has to turn 16 in, that's going to be crazy. But she's, like I said, full-time driver. She has over 11,000 deliveries on DoorDash and 20,000 between all the apps. Great lady, a hard-ass worker, very fun to watch the live stream. So she'll be on at 9 o'clock tonight. But check out her podcast. Anywhere you download podcasts, just search Kim's Side Money Plans. And yeah, check it out. I think it's going to be good. The more people in the podcast space, the better, I think, personally, just because you're able to, you know, when you're able to collab and stuff, it's just great. And I really appreciate her willing to talk about my show, because yeah, we're trying to grow this show now that Jesper, I mean, I'm stuck with this old coot now. And so
Yeah, just speaking of former host, yes, we want to shout out to Ben on Facebook tonight. Just, wanted to say, hey,
yeah, good old Ben. So yeah, check out Kim's podcast. Appreciate her giving me the opportunity to talk about it. All right, Larry. So no, we skipped that one. So this is just a quick fun video about He just talks about how he thinks his driver was 5-star. We'll watch it. 36 seconds.
So you think you're a people pleaser? No, for sure. So I just took an Uber to the airport, and as I was getting out of the Uber, the driver didn't put the car in park and drove over the back of my foot. The back of my heel, my shoe, I still have a tire mark, was trapped underneath the wheel. I'm banging on the window. I'm like, dude, back up, back up, back up. He's like, why? I'm like, you're on my foot. It didn't break anything. I'm fine, but it also really did not feel good. He gets out of the car. He's freaking out. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, you're fine. It's all good. Who hasn't driven over a foot? It's all good, dude. I'm walking away. I'm like limping. Still getting 5 stars. Come on. It happens.
Okay. That was great. I loved his attitude. I hope that's what actually happened. Well, I mean, I don't want him to get his foot run over, but I love his attitude about it. We need more people like that.
Yes.
Have you ever got your foot run over by a car?
I have.
Does it hurt?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure if your foot's on its side and it runs over, like puts pressure on the bone like that. But if it's flat,
it sounded like it just got his heel too.
Yeah.
It sounded like it didn't like completely run over his foot. But yeah, I agree with you though. What a cool attitude for somebody to have. I mean, you know how it is. Some people, I mean, they'd be ready to sue you for everything you had, you know.
Yeah.
For something like that. There was clearly an accident. Clearly the driver didn't mean to run over his foot.
God, I would be mortified if I did that.
Oh yes,
like,
I would too. I would too.
I did one time bump a lady backing up. She got out of the car and I had pulled to drop them off and I had pulled too close to make the turn, right, to turn out. Yeah. So I just backed up a little bit and she was standing right behind me. And that was in my Pilot, which has, you know, 2010, it has a backup camera, but it's like this small in my rearview mirror and it's black and white. So I didn't see her and I kind of bumped like the last second and I did kind of bump her. I got out. I'm like, oh my gosh. She's like, totally fine. You just grazed me. I'm like, oh, thank God. Can you imagine?
Goodness.
Career over. I would, if I had ran her over.
That's it.
That would have not been good. So.
Yep. I think you would have been getting one of those emails from Uber. Somebody has been slightly harmed,
slightly inconvenienced.
Yes.
So continuing with tradition on the show, we give the other host an uncomfortable story to talk about, and that's Larry tonight because I prepared the show. So when Larry's turn, then he can give it to me.
All right, yeah, I definitely feel like I'm taking Yester's place now. So, are you going to put this on screen or?
I don't think I have. I don't think I have a photo.
That's cool. I'll just read it.
Yeah, no, I don't have a photo.
So anyway, there's a story out of Florida, naturally. So, it says, while taking an Uber home to his $655,000 townhouse, a Florida man exposed his genitals and pleasured himself to completion, forcing the driver to clean the mess up behind on his front seat. It says the driver picked up the passenger in Tampa, drove him to St. Pete, where the guy owns a residence with his husband. While en route, Haggerty displayed and exposed his penis and proceeded to masturbate the duration of the ride until arriving home. The driver told cops he speaks no English and was unable to tell the defendant to stop, though he did use his phone to record the defendant masturbating.
Oh, what the hell? Why?
Yeah, you're driving and you use your phone
like
to tape this, but you can't figure out a way to tell him to stop. And then it also said an arrest affidavit noted there was a third unknown person in the vehicle's back seat who spoke up for the victim at the conclusion of the ride. So this guy, the passenger, he's a licensed nurse practitioner. He was arrested yesterday for exposure of sexual organs and booked in the county jail. During the hearing today, a judge ordered Haggerty released from custody. They suspect alcohol may have been involved.
No shit. You think?
And they also ordered him to have no contact with the driver, and the defendant shall not use Uber, Lyft, rideshare, or any assisted means of transportation while the case is pending. So he's going to have to either walk or drive himself, or ride a bike, or drive a lawnmower, or whatever he has to do. But this dude's a nurse practitioner. He's a nurse
Look
practitioner.
at Timothy's comment. That killed me. No kidding. If I get any distraction, I'm in trouble.
While the guy's filming you,
I
while
know.
he's driving, that's the part that threw me. I mean, not that this didn't all throw me, but the guy said he didn't speak English, so he couldn't tell him to stop. But he can film. He can take out his camera and film it.
I would just start punching the guy in the temple. If
I would just pull over and I mean, if I can't speak the language, I can motion. You get out. You get out now. Yeah.
that is so uncomfortable. Like,
Oh my gosh. Yes, it is. That's horrific.
That's focus
That is
right there.
Truly horrific.
All right, continuing with the gross things. So this picture right here, this guy, and I know this is just fake, but there might be pee in those bottles, but the comment is, "This is my hot bag for non-tippers. I fill up each bottle with my special lemonade I make. It keeps the food nice and warm, and the condensation from the bottle helps keep the food extra hot and adds flavor to the food for my special customers." Again, I'm 99.9999% sure that's not true, but that's funny. I haven't seen one like that, but how are you peeing those bottles, sir, without spilling all over the place? I'll be perfectly honest. I see those at the side of the road. I'm like, if I don't have a Gatorade bottle, it's not happening.
Hey, that's also takes focus. So
It does. It definitely does. Let's see. Moving forward, I want you guys to check out this Octopus tablet. So the link is in the description. If you haven't heard of it, I mean, living under a rock at this point. But I guess for new drivers, for sure. Didn't mean to offend the new drivers, but this is a tablet that you put in your car. Your passengers can play trivia on it. They have information about you as a driver. They can win cash prizes and stuff like that. So it's a really cool thing. They send you the tablet, the charger, everything. You literally just put it in the back of your car and keep it plugged in. That is the extent of the commitment for you. If you're a full-time driver, which Larry kind of is, I mean, I don't know what your payout's been on that, but they say you can make up to $100.
yeah, I'd have to look. I know I've made it 75 in a month.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I've made 100, but yeah, it's the passengers love it, especially the nighttime people. Especially they're a little tipsy.
I was
they
saying
like to play some
nighttime
trivia. They love it. The daytime people, not so much. You know,
Yeah.
I keep mine muted as I think you do during the
Yes,
day.
I do.
During the night, turn the volume on.
Yep.
But nothing like having three drunk ass people at 2:00 in the morning back there arguing over trivia. Going,
Yeah.
I told you that was the wrong answer, you idiot. You know, but it's a great company though.
Yeah, it is. The best part is they think they're doing good, and then they see their score
Yeah.
compared to everyone else. They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
Oh
we're
yeah,
terrible."
they can't believe it. They can't believe it. And anyway, and you talked about that they give away cash prizes to the passengers. You can also win cash as a driver, as Jason can well tell you.
Yes, I got my 1099 from them just recently, and I won $1,000 last year from them randomly.
Ka-ching.
Yeah.
And supposedly they have like 40,000 tablets out there. So
Do they
I mean, it's
really?
not like that's what they say. That's what he
Damn.
said I listened to his podcast the other day. They said they have 40,000 out
Wow,
there.
that good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
They're a great company. They really are completely focused on making the tablet the best it can be. They're updating it, constantly with new content.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything, like Jason said. You mount it in the
Yeah.
back of your car, let it go.
The only
make
issue,
money.
the only issue I have, and I don't know if Larry's had this, but like I don't drive during the week, and it will go dead or it'll just turn off. Sometimes I have trouble turning it on.
Yeah.
If you hit the power button and the volume down button for 10 seconds, it somehow fires it
Reset.
up. I don't know what it is, but I have to do that every time before. Now, if you're driving regularly, you could leave it in there, and it knows when you stop driving.
Yeah, I don't ever take mine out.
Yeah,
The
you
only
drive
thing-
almost every day
Yeah.
though, but I'm just saying it knows when you're not driving, so it doesn't like waste battery and stuff like that. I mean,
Right.
obviously, if you leave
Oh
it
yeah,
in there,
yeah.
but-
Within I don't know. I've never timed it to see what the sleep time is, but it goes to sleep after you've been setting
pretty quick,
for so long.
So.
Yeah.
All right, Larry, let's do two more and get out of this biatch.
All right, let's do it.
So-
let's see. Do you have video
Yeah,
for this
it's
one?
a TikTok.
Or-
I didn't know if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll introduce a little bit. So basically, this is a food delivery. I think it's DoorDash. This DoorDash driver delivered to a girl who was working in a TJ Maxx, and then later on she notices that the delivery's been marked as it never showed up.
Right.
And so she goes back to TJ Maxx and confronts the girl that she brought the food to and asks her, why did you say it was not completed?
Yeah.
And we're not recommending you confront people like this.
No.
Because you never know what kind of whack job is going to be on the other side of that. But definitely report them.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll show this video real quick.
Hello, like I delivered food to you earlier and you said that you didn't get it and now I have a contract violation.
Oh, I don't know. My friend, because my name is Jalea, and my friend, she ordered it for me. So I'm not too sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could call my friend because that is weird.
Okay, so confirming that you did get it though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did, I called my friend, ordered it for me. But I don't know, she might have refunded it or something.
Okay.
Insane, but I could call her, I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Lying like a rug.
Right. Well, I think that was like the most pleasant interaction I've seen on those. When I watched it beforehand, it was really
usually they get pretty
they
pretty
get
much
heated.
on the edge of violence.
Yeah, I did kind of track down the comments, and they did get it removed. I don't know what happened. She didn't really explain it, but I really love on TikTok when creators will explain it in the comments when like updates, because you kind of like don't know what happened.
Yeah, you see it, and then you're like, wow, I wonder, what's the rest of the story? How did it end up?
Yeah, no follow up. And as you know, I'm not going to really work hard to try to follow it up. I'm like, I need something easy, but I guess it did get removed. So
that's good.
So that's good. All right. So last story, Uber's, I thought this was interesting. It's Uber's hidden cost, the surprising truth behind tipping and driver pay. And I never, when I read this, you'll be like, yeah, Jason, duh. But like, I never applied it to rideshare. I only thought like DoorDash, they're not paying enough base pay. They're expecting tips. But, so let's see. The CEO of one hotel ownership group actually said the quiet part out loud. Hotels encourage tipping housekeepers because it means they can pay the housekeepers less or avoid paying them more. There's a wage that's necessary to attract enough workers, whether that wage is coming from the guest or the hotel doesn't matter. If more comes from the guest, the hotel doesn't need to pay as much to fully staff the department. For instance, a worker might accept employment with making $20 per hour. It doesn't matter if the 20 from the employer or 15 from the employer and 5 from the guest. However, the lack of certainty in tipping might mean they need $6 or $7 from guests to consider it at break even, but it still lets the hotel pay $3 or $4 less. That's exactly what's happened at Uber. They introduced tipping. Uber's pays their drivers less. They can't get enough drivers on the road precisely because drivers accept that while Uber doesn't pay as much, the customer might make up the tip. What's happening, though, is Uber is paying drivers less and people are tipping less than drivers have expected. That's reduced driver pay, which encourages better drivers with other opportunities to leave the platform. They're replaced by different drivers and often less expensive, older, and less well-maintained vehicles. It's one reason the overall Uber experience has gotten so bad. So really interesting data that sheds light on driver pay and tipping behavior. They found that Uber drivers made 17.1% less in 2023 than the year before. 51% of food and grocery driver income comes from tips. That figure is just 10% for rideshare drivers, in part because expected tipping isn't happening. Only 28.3% of rides earned compared to 88.5% of the grocery delivery. So, wow, I never really thought about that, that Uber is doing the same thing as DoorDash, basically.
Sure, yeah.
And it's kind of disheartening.
Paying less.
A couple of stats I thought that was interesting. The most expensive rideshare trip last year cost $1,277 from LA to Vegas. One customer tipped $176 on a $688 fare. I don't know why they said that. Does that mean that was the biggest tip? That can't be right.
No, that can't be right.
The longest trip was 562 miles from Knoxville to Chicago. And then one Kansas City Uber driver did 72 trips in a day, and a DoorDash driver made 85 deliveries in one day in Anchorage. So That was just some fun tips. But yeah, I never really thought about that, but that makes total sense that like that's kind of what Uber's doing. And I'm sure you found out as well that the tipping is just not there for these apps.
Yeah, the tip fatigue thing that we've discussed before. You know, everybody's asking for a tip now. You know, no matter where so many places you go in, they flip that screen around. You know, do you want a tip? Do you want a tip? And I think people, they feel like there's hit with that everywhere, and I think it makes them less inclined to tip.
The problem is going back to the example of the housekeeper. So they're expecting $5 from the customer, right? Are these housekeepers actually figuring it out and saying, hey, you offered me 20. I'm not making 20. I'm making 17. Are you going to cover you know what I mean? Are you going to cover the difference? Especially, waiting tables, you get $2.52 an hour or whatever, $3 an hour. Yeah. And then we're not guaranteeing you any wage. It's just, that's what you make. But if you present it as you're going to make 20 and you're only making 17, are they going to them and say, hey, you need to pay the difference? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where I never think a story would, really hit, but like, it's like, yeah, it's just like fucking DoorDash. So.
Jimothy's on it tonight.
Oh my God, get this guy doing some stand-up.
I'll tell you what, he'll be here all week, folks.
He'll be here all week. So, well, I appreciate everyone that joined the show tonight. I really appreciate Steve for sending people over. It really means a lot.
Thanks, Steve.
Head over to Kim's channel. It looks like the Driven Dad said it's Zach and Kim's podcast on her live. So I don't know what that is. I thought it was her regular live, but maybe it's not. Maybe her regular live is Tuesday. But either way, fucking go over there and watch it and subscribe to her channel. And
check it out.
Definitely download her podcast as well. Anywhere you get podcasts, Kim's Side Money Plans. What do you think? How do you think you did, Larry? Did you all done being nervous?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was all good. I mean, we've got such good people on here. I'm not nervous.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I didn't talk to you about this, but we are going to continue the sign off. So I'll do the swear word, okay? So you don't have to do that. But it
doesn't matter.
So I say don't put up with anyone's bullshit, and you say
we will see you on the road.
That's right. Have a good night, guys.
Night.
This podcast is produced and edited by Hey Guys Media Group. Want to start a podcast? Check out heyguysmediagroup.com.